Hey everyone, San Joaquin Valley Transparency. I'm doing this video of this public official that I spoke to out in the street, and he kind of blew my mind just what he was saying. Let me know what you guys think. I think he kind of knows his shit. I think he knows what he's talking about, and I think we can learn something from him. It's pretty important. One time I did a video right here, but there was a bunch of trees in the way. You couldn't really get the view of it all.
You know what you call a guy with no arms and no legs hanging on a wall?
Huh.
Art.
What place is this? I don't think I've ever been here.
What this building is?
I don't know.
I think it was, it might have been
Let's go see.
there.
Yeah. Within 20 feet of this building. Is it open?
Oh yeah, looks like a...
That's an employees only entrance.
Oh, okay. Where's the front entrance?
We're non-public.
Oh, non-public.
The public one's on Elm.
Elm, okay.
Jensen and Elm.
Just a no?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
That
Thanks,
one's
man.
the public one. They switched it from here.
Oh, okay. That's why I came up on our Google. Thank you.
Thanks. You work here?
Yes.
Oh, what was your name?
Kurt.
Kurt?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thanks,
man.
Kurt. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Much help. Kurt's a good guy, I'm not gonna lie.
Nice building.
Yeah, it is.
Artwork
It's not
everywhere
bad.
around here.
I like it. It's really nice. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing, you know, how nice it really is. How you doing?
What you guys filming?
Huh? Oh, you know, just the building.
We're not from around here, so it's kind of weird to see this kind of muralage.
Oh, yeah, it's been up a while, a long time.
I noticed last time there was trees covering it. Did they just take some trees down recently?
Yeah, they re-landscaped for, you know, water and stuff. It was a lot of maintenance, high maintenance to have the grass and stuff. So they did.
That's why you see all this stuff.
They're remodeling and redoing it.
Got it.
The building is old as dirt. And they built it in '59. Yeah,
So that means you guys are gonna get a new building somewhere.
maybe.
No, they're going to relocate us to wherever. To wherever.
Come on, man. You guys know our tax dollars pay for nice stuff.
Well, yeah, I hope we get some.
I'm guessing this was painted in 82?
1982?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah, they did just re-landscaped it. I don't know if they re-landscaped it for resale or just re-landscaped because it was such a pain in the rear to mow that grass.
It's for resale. All
That
of
was
the
a lot of
all
grass
of the benches and the stuff in the front.
They
They're trying to
upgraded.
make it
They
more,
updated
They're
it.
trying to make it
Yeah.
more attractive to some buyers.
Yeah. State would rather pay rent than own buildings because you know that's smart, right?
Did you like my cake?
You pay $2,000 for an
good.
apartment instead of $1,000 a month for a house.
Right.
How much sense does that make?
Pretty smart, man.
So
I need
if
to
you're
put you in
smart,
charge.
no, let me tell you, if you're smart, you build a skyscraper, then you go around, you solicit all the government offices to move into your building. Taxpayers and the government pay your mortgage, and when that building gets paid off, you're a multi-millionaire. Compliments of the people of the state of California.
Yep.
See, you pay $60,000 for an entire 8th floor every month. What kind of building could you afford to buy and pay off and then have no rent and save the taxpayers money if you would just own the land? What's wrong with the state owning land? There's nothing wrong with the state owning land because who's the state? The people. So if the people own land and they use that land to serve themselves, what's wrong with that? But we would rather pay rent to a private citizen so he can get rich, right? We're paying his mortgage. And then it's like forever because now you don't own any buildings. So you take your 200 state employees, you put them in a rental forever. So who owns the building? A private citizen or a corporation,
Very well said, man.
right?
Makes a lot of sense, dude.
Right?
Makes a lot of sense.
So to me, as a taxpayer, I would rather the state own a building, pay it off, rent-free, and then maintain it and keep us in it. And that way save the taxpayers money, but they don't care about that.
But the state,
The state doesn't care about saving your money.
Certain
they care
states-
about spending your money. That's what they
So,
want.
do certain states own buildings?
Sure.
Or is it just this one?
Sure,
Fresno,
we have buildings that are on federal land. We have buildings on state land. There's city-owned properties. There's nothing wrong with that, because when you're done paying for the building of the property, it's free and clear, and now the taxpayers don't have to pay every month for this building.
Makes sense.
You pay the taxes for.
But instead, because it's our money, it's not. See,
Right.
this is the problem with Sacramento. They think they're independent of the taxpayer. They think that when we elect them, that gives them autonomy to pass whatever they want to pass, serve whoever they want to serve. They think they have the autonomy to make the laws they want to make, and it doesn't matter how we feel or think. They don't think about, if you did the things that they did at home, you'd be homeless for one thing. You'd be in jail for another. I mean, there's so many things that a private citizen can't do in his home, in his own dwelling, that the state of California can do.
Right.
So this is the problem, is that there's not a big enough revolt to say, hey, you work for us. We hired you. Your paycheck comes from us. What are you doing?
Do you know what you just said right now is in a lot of our videos? That right there, exactly what you just said, I've said that before.
You're supposed to be doing what we want, what we pay you to do, and you're not supposed to be able to get rich off it. How are you getting rich off it?
Man. Exactly.
How do you go to Washington, come back a multimillionaire? That would never happen before. The people who started this business all died broke and all kinds of mess. Just look at the fate of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Look at their fates. What did it get them? Get them rich and famous? No. Did they end up like the Kennedys? No. Rockefellers? Or how about the Pelosi's from back east? Nobody knows the Pelosi's are from back east. They think the Pelosi's are native Californians. They're not. So, you know, a lot of crap, man. A lot of crap that has to do with just, they're running their own show. They're running their own business. They're taking, because they know taxpayers won't revolt. They won't do anything. Oh, we'll go march. And then what happens if the march doesn't pan out? Nothing happens from it. Nothing. Nothing. You see, and they know, according to history, you go march on Sacramento, you go march on Washington, nothing happens. What's the next thing you do? We said it's our money, our country, not yours. So what do? You make me get rid of it. Now I can't. Now I can't go there armed. I can't use the Second Amendment to protect my First Amendment anymore. Because my First Amendment, part of my First Amendment is to hire you to speak on my behalf. That's called freedom. I'm choosing you to go there and to speak on my behalf and to pass legislation and do things for me. And without the First Amendment, what happens to our government? Because our government is based on what? It's based on representation. But what is the representation for?
You know that we are First Amendment activists, journalists. We go out and we push the boundaries.
I guarantee you the First Amendment was written to protect, the Second Amendment was written to protect the First.
That's right, man. That's right.
Okay, if you look at who wrote the Second Amendment and why. Why did they write the first one? Because they got those things taken away from them, and they had to what? They had to fight to get it back, right?
That's right, man.
People forget that this used to be England. 13 English colonies. People seem to forget that England, where does slavery come from? England! Right? Right? So we have 13 English colonies that own slaves, right? So what happens when the people can no longer take the tyranny of England? They revolted. Well, what was one of the things that England imposed?
Taxes.
that First Amendment was written so that would no longer be imposed by us by any government, because we were going to set up our own government. As a country, we need a government, and we were going to set up a government, and we wanted to make sure that government would never impose their tyrannical rules on us. So what do? We knew that it took the actions of the Second Amendment to get the First Amendment. So if you got the First Amendment by having a Second Amendment, even though it wasn't unwritten at the time. Now we put the Second Amendment to protect the First Amendment, to make sure that if the power, because we knew that the power would grow as we grow, they knew that as we grow as a country and as our government grows, it grows more powerful. They saw it coming. So the Second Amendment protects the First. It makes sure the government doesn't mess with the First and impose tyranny again, all over again, and we start all over again with you can't do this, you can't do that, you can only do this, you can only do that.
Have you ever heard the coined term First Amendment audit?
Let me get this. Hold on a second. Hello?